Can you tell me your name?
Rosina Sparrow.
And where did you grow up?
Bermondsey, South East 1, London.
Yeah. Where was your first house when you was young?
My first house was in Bermondsey, Guinness Buildings.
Yeah.
We had 2 bedrooms and another 1 room, and that was the kitchen where you washed. Yes, and there was myself, my dad, mum, and 2 half brothers.
Yeah.
Yes, it was, and of course the toilet, we only had 1 toilet and 4 flats, which we had to share, and then there was a wash house that used to call a wash house where my mum and the other mums used to do their washing. But the sink and the wringer, and I remember that, and the smog. It was always winter was the smog. It was yellow, so when you blew your nose, all the black used to come out on your handkerchief. So we had to wear a mask sometimes. It was so bad.
What was London like as a child? Obviously the smog.
Very foggy. Always foggy. Yes, it was. We had the children, I know that by photos, because my brother was a photographer and used to develop, and when I look back, there was a lot of poor children. A lot of poor children. We wasn't too bad, but yes, and my dad, he used to do a bit of carpentry, and he always used to make me a doll's house or a dresser or a sort of little sewing machine for myself, to compare to the other children. And then they used to come down. We used to have the square we used to play in, and they used to come round and play. But yes, there was quite a few poor families then.
Can you tell me what happened to your parents?
Well, Mum died when I was 10 and a half. She was only 3 months old when she got rheumatic fever, so that left her with a very weak heart, and she had asthma, and she wouldn't move from Bermondsey because she had a family there, because she should have perhaps gone to the country, but she was stubborn. She wouldn't move out.
So if she moved to the country, do you think she would have been a bit better?
Oh, probably, yes, because the air was much cleaner. But it was different in those days. Families were more together, So it was very difficult for her to do that. But as I say, she died of pneumonia.
So what happened to your dad?
Dad never remarried. He had a drink problem, always had a drink problem, though he got up for work every morning and went to work. But
so now it would have been classed as alcoholism.
I suppose so. Yes.
So how did he die in the end?
Dad, my dad, which would have been your great granddad, he was murdered. His flat got broken into, and he laid there for a couple of days unbeknown to us, until his home help looked through the letterbox, and yes, he was, and that night he died. It's very quite sad. Yes. And a couple of days later, we went back to the flat, and they're broken in again and turned all the furniture upside down, which was very, very upsetting.
Very disrespectful.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. What was it like living on your own at the age of 11?
I suppose coming home to an empty flat, because by then we'd moved to Crosby Row, still in South East 1. We had 3 bedrooms upstairs and a little kitchen and a dining room, so it was to me coming in, that was my, nobody there. So that was quite lonely, really. But
yeah.
Just trying to think. I'm trying to think how you think back then when you're.
Yeah. How did the loss of your parents affect you?
Mum, yes, quite bad. Yeah. Obviously, I didn't quite know really what was going on. So yes, I was. Took me. It didn't sink in till at least a week when I knew my mum wasn't coming back home, and yes, I became very, very ill.
Can you go in detail about that?
I was very sick, very, very sick.
What, physically sick?
Yeah, very sick.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's not what age you lose your mum, but it's a very difficult age.
Especially that
to
so
lose
young.
your mum
Yeah.
at that age, yes. Yeah.
Where did you meet your husband, which is my granddad?
I met your granddad at Frederick Snow and Partners in Blackfriars, near Blackfriars Bridge, and I happened to be leaving, and he just come over to me and said, well, I'd like to take you out for a drink, which we did. We went for a drink, and then I didn't think much of it really, but I must have given him, which I did, my friend who I was working with, Jean Humphreys, a phone number, because in those days we didn't have phones. Your granddad's parents had a phone, and he phoned my friend Jean Humphreys, which I was a bit surprised because I completely forgot about your granddad. And then that's when we really had our first date, I suppose. We met up and went for a meal, and really just went from there, really.
What did you think of him then?
He was quite smart, very smart, and he said he was fairly intelligent, and he's 5 years older than me, so I was quite mature, obviously, for my age, because I was only 16 and a half when I met your granddad. I suppose because I've had to bring myself up, and I was quite, and he was just sort of, a mature, much more grown up than, and he said he was an architect, which I knew he was anyway, because that's the office. So but we gradually, you got to know. I think it was love at first sight with Granddad, but obviously it did take me a bit of time.
Yeah, because I think you was quite young, so
yes,
love wasn't
that's right. Yeah.
What was your first job?
My first job was in a factory, making for stationery, files and things like that. It was only for a short time.
What other jobs did you have?
And I had an office job.
Yeah.
And then I went on to that's when I met Grandad. I went on to Frederick Snow's and did some office work there, and a switchboard operator.
Yeah.
And then from there I went to Hall Hardings, St James's Park, that way on the that was okay. I was there for a couple of years. It was a printing firm. I quite enjoyed that. And then my other job, I went to Mercury House in Waterloo, and it was computers, but it was a punch card operator, which I really thoroughly enjoyed. And then went on to verifying, which means I used to check the girls' work, etc. Really, that was I really enjoyed that job, but things have changed now since then.
So what was your teenage and child life like?
Yes, it was fairly okay. We used to go to youth clubs, which the Sunday school which
Yeah.
we used to go on a Sunday morning. They had the youth club upstairs in a hall, and we used to play the records and dance. And occasionally we went away camping
Yeah.
at Down, which was great fun. They're okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
What was your school life like, and did you have any friends?
school was okay. I wished again. I was sometimes a little bit. I was naughty sometimes, I must admit.
Yeah, so did you get the cane?
No, we used to have to write lines.
Yeah.
You know, after school,
For
we
like
must behave.
detention, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
What about your friends? What are they like?
yeah, I had lots of friends. Yes.
Can you remember any of their names?
Yes, I can. Janet Connolly, Christine Cooper, Gwyneth Simmons, Margaret Farrow, Brenda Sullivan.
Yeah.
We used to, and some of those girls, we used to go camping as well with the Sunday school, so we all sort of mixed in.
So
Yes,
this is going to ask questions about your life now. So I'm going to ask about mental illness and how has that affected you?
Yes, in a way, it's made me less confident. Less confident. Did I say confident? And yeah, I feel a bit vulnerable now than before my illness.
Yeah.
Yes, it has changed me, not an awful lot, but yes, I do feel a bit slightly. Oh God, what to say in a bit.
So that's what basically you felt.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else can I?
What about mental illness? Does that run in your family?
Shall I say about my brother or not? No, I'll just say no, shall I? Because I don't really know much about my brother.
No. So no one really.
No, he wouldn't even. As I say, you ain't recording now. It's just that.
So what mental illness did you have?
Well, I was diagnosed as acute depression,
Yeah.
which is a mental breakdown. It just all of a sudden it just hits you. It's
Yeah. Where does it stem from?
Well, I can only pinpoint it. I think just things just got on top of me. Mum and Dad, and then your dad having another baby. It just seemed to go in with that. So one, I will never know. We'll never know, but it could have been from that. But no, I don't know. It's just one of those things that happen. Lucky enough, I've had treatment, and I'm getting.
Yeah. I can definitely tell there's a difference.
Oh yes, a lot of difference. Yeah, it's very frightening.
So, if you could go back as your 11-year-old self,
Should have thought that much.
what would you say?
Try and do well and get on in life. Don't take things too seriously. Just try and be yourself and be kind and.
Yeah. Why would you say that to that person, like to yourself? Why?
Yeah, because I've got to this age now, and I know a bit more about life and responsibilities, and yes, that's
Yeah. So thank you for the interview. How did you think it went?
very well, Annabelle.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.